Here's my Podcast Spot and welcome to week 19 of the 2018-2019 Premier League review. If you want to choose what we do to take a look at the past set Premier results, we take a look at the Premier League table and we finish off by looking at the Premier League top goal scorers. So here are the past set of Premier League results. These games are played on Wednesday the 26th and Thursday the 27th of December 2018. Also next to the games are the times in this video, so if you want to hear about a specific match, just go to the time next to the game and you'll skip out all the other crap. But without further ado, let's get into our first match. We start with Liverpool versus Newcastle. Liverpool took a lead on the 10-minute mark as the self-proclaimed best defender in the world, Dejan Lovren, smashed Liverpool in front. A quick corner was taken short by Xherdan Shaqiri to Andy Robertson. He swings a ball in and there's no pressure, but Jamal Lascelles make a hash of a header right onto the penalty spot. Everyone sees Lovren lining it up, moves out of his way, and the defender catches it as sweet as a nut first time into the top left corner. And just over a minute into the second half, Liverpool get the perfect chance to double their lead as they were given a penalty. It's a dive. Salah comes into the box, Newcastle defender comes from behind, there's a small tug on the shoulder of Salah who goes down very easily, not enough to bring him down. It's a dive all day long and the ref pointed the spot. Salah also stepped up to take it and he buried the spot kick into the bottom left. And Liverpool got a third in the 79th minute as Xherdan Shaqiri wrapped up a brilliant Liverpool move. A cross was put into the middle by Andy Robertson. It was cleared but only to the edge of the box and Danny Sturridge lays it off to Jordan Henderson. First time to Trent Alexander-Arnold and he put a first time ball in low that evades everyone and they're waiting for it was Shaqiri who tapped home. And Liverpool got a fourth in the 84th minute as Fabinho got his first goal for Liverpool. Such a simple goal as well as the corner was swung in by Mo Salah just a few yards off of the goal line. Dubravka doesn't track it and Fabinho steps forward at the front post, heads down and it bounces into the net. And that's how the game ended. This time last week there was just 1 point between the teams at the top of the table, but thanks to an awful few days for Man City, Liverpool are now 7 points ahead of them and 6 points clear of second place. The league leaders secured a 12th clean sheet of the Premier League season without being severely challenged like most of the games this season. Recently Newcastle have picked up in the league after a poor start, but they were by far the second best team at Anfield as Liverpool secured they will start 2019 at the top of the table no matter what happens. And we move on to Leicester versus Man City. Man City took the lead in the 13th minute as Bernardo Silva opened the scoring. Just poor defending from Leicester really as Sergio Aguero slides the ball through the Leicester defence. The Foxes look all over the shop and Bernardo Silva picks it up and slots it past Kasper Schmeichel. But just like last weekend, the lead won't last long for Man City as Leicester levelled it up just 5 minutes later through Mark Albrighton. Jamie Vardy was free on the left wing and put a lovely cross towards the back post. Fabian Delph loses his man and Mark Albrighton pulls free, heads it back across goal and past Edison. And Leicester took the lead with 10 minutes to go, and for the second game in a row, Man City conceded a banger. A poor corner for Leicester, but an even poorer clearance from Leroy Sané. He heads the ball straight to Ricardo Pereira. He's still got so much to do as he took a touch to set it just inside the box and smashes it through a crowded penalty area and into the side of the net. And things would go from bad to worse for City as they were reduced to 10 men in the 89th minute as Fabian Delph was sent off. Poor tackle from Delphi, shown a straight red card after catching Pereira right on the knee. He does get the ball, but it's that follow through that the ref spotted. It's right on the knee. It's really, it was a nasty one. And that's how the game ended. 2 games in a row now where Man City have lost and are slipping down the table and further away from the top. Man City had a majority of possession in the game as you'd expect, but a poor clearance from Sané was punished by another spectacular finish. City had chances to take the lead when it was all square as Aguero scooped over the bar from 6 yards out, but what a few days for Leicester though. On Saturday we were being told that Claude Puel is going to be sacked for some reason, but they beat Chelsea at the weekend, and now with a win over Man City, he's surely got a job for at least the rest of the season. Despite going behind early, Leicester responded well, levelling the game up and ended the first half with the better side. City are now third, and next week's game against Liverpool will be even more crucial for the title race. And we move on to Tottenham versus Bournemouth. Tottenham took the lead in the 16th minute as Christian Eriksen got his second goal in as many games. Came against the run of play a bit as twice Bournemouth went close at the other end and Tottenham go and make them pay for it as Christian Eriksen pulled it into a pocket of space on the edge of the area. He fired an effort towards goal that took a hefty deflection off of Jefferson Lerma, which completely wrong-footed Asmir Begovic and bounced into the net. And Tottenham doubled their lead just 5 minutes later as Son Heung-min made it 2-0 to the hosts. Poor defender from Bournemouth as Charlie Daniels just gave the ball away on the edge of his own area to Kyle Walker-Peters. He poked the ball into the D for Son, he sorted his feet out, slotted it into the bottom right corner. And Tottenham got their third in the 34th minute as Lucas Moura pretty much ensured the win for Spurs before half-time. 3 goals, 3 assists for Kyle Walker-Peters. He ran onto a diagonal pass that was behind Charlie Daniels. He cleverly pulls the ball back into the box, into the path of Lucas Moura, who manages to guide his effort into the corner from the penalty spot. And Tottenham got a 4th in the 61st minute as Harry Kane got the goal. He actually started the move as he does well to keep the ball in the corner and lay it back to Christian Eriksen. A lovely pass from Eriksen who has time to look up and dink a lovely ball into the path of Kane, who put a left-footed volley through the legs of the keeper. And Tottenham got a 5th in the 71st minute as Son Heung-min got his second of the game. Poor lure from Begovic really, as Harry Kane somehow kept the ball alive despite being on his arse. Danny Rose found himself on the floor as well. Kane does get back up, lay it back to Mora. His effort is well saved, but the keeper can't hold it as Son nipped in, touched it round him and slotted home. And as the game ended with Tottenham picking up a massive win to go second in the table. Tottenham scored their 11th goal in just 4 days to move above the reigning champs. Kyle Walker-Peters had a superb match, getting the assist to all 3 of Tottenham's first half goals, and the league match against Arsenal has really seemed to light a fire under Tottenham as they've pushed on from there and have firmly put their names in the title race as they picked up their 5th consecutive win. And we move on to Burnley versus Everton. Everton took the lead just a minute into the match as Yerry Mina put the visitors in front. Just like one of the goals that the Colombians scored in the World Cup, as a corner was put into the middle by Lucas Digne, it goes all the way to Bernard at the back post. He puts it back in and the big centre-back gets up and heads it home. And Everton double their lead in the 13th minute as Lucas Digne put the visitors 2-0 up. Another free kick goal for the fullback as he steps up to a dead ball, bends it around the Burnley wall, and despite Joe Hart getting a palm to it, he can't keep it out and just ends up helping it into the corner. And Everton will get the perfect chance to get their third in the 20th minute as they were given a penalty. Really needless from Burnley. It could have been given for 2 things. There's some horrible shirt pulling by Ben Mee in the middle that could have been given, but I think he's given it for handball, which was also Ben Mee. Either way, it was Ben Mee's fault. Gylfi Sigurdsson stepped up to take it and calmly stroked it into the net. But Burnham looked to start the comeback in the 36th minute as Ben Gibson made it 3-1. James Tarkowski headed it towards goal, but it was cleared off of the line by Everton as they looked to get numbers behind the ball. It drops to Ben Gibson though, who managed to swivel and fire home for his first goal for Burnley on his first Premier League start for them. But Everton will get their 3-goal lead back in the 71st minute as Lucas Digne got his second of the afternoon. Another solid goal from the fullback as a corner was cleared and Bernard had it outside the area. He laid it off to Digne and the fullback took a touch and rifled one into the bottom corner from 30 yards out. And Everton got a 5th with the last kick of the game as Richarlison got on the score sheet. Yerry Mina had the ball on the halfway line and he put it forward to Gylfi Sigurdsson. The Icelandic midfielder turned and put a lovely ball forward to Richarlison and he touched it round his man and poked past Joe Hart into the net. And that's how the game ended, with Everton shaking off the embarrassment of Sunday's game against Spurs by thumping a team themselves. Burnley found themselves 3 goals behind before they even had a shot on target and the slow start cost them. Sean Dyche opted to play his biggest strike options, anticipating a battle with the 3 big Everton centre-backs, but Burnley don't need a change up top, they need a lot of work at the back. Bernard, Gylfi Sigurdsson and Theo Walcott enjoyed a lot of the ball and pulled the strings for Everton as they had the 3 points wrapped up within the first quarter of the game. And we move on to Manchester United versus Huddersfield. Man United took the lead just before the half-hour mark and it came from a corner from the left-hand side that Marcus Rashford took. Victor Lindelof gets his head to it, Jonas Losso keeps that out but he can't hold it and can only parry it back into the danger area, and their gambling for it wasn't a manumatic and the Serb poked home the rebound from point blank range. And United doubled their lead in the 63rd minute as Paul Pogba got the goal. Lovely move by Juan Mata as the Spaniard runs at the Huddersfield backline, dodges 2 defenders and pulls the ball back to Ander Herrera. The chance looks to be gone but the Spaniard does well to keep the ball alive and lay it off to Paul Pogba, and the World Cup winner side-footed it first time into the bottom left. And Man United got their third in the 78th minute as Paul Pogba got his second of the afternoon. Pogba and Jesse Lingard exchange passes and there seems to be no danger 30 yards out, but the Frenchman just takes a touch and bends a beautiful effort into the bottom left again. But Huddersfield would get a consolation goal as Matthias Jorgensen got a goal for them in the 88th minute. Came from a free kick that Alex Pritchard swung in towards the back post. Steve Mounier headed it down and no one picked up for the run of the centre-back as Zanka ran in and swept home. And that's how the game ended, with Man United making it back-to-back wins for the caretaker boss Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. What a clear difference the sacking of Mourinho has made. The fans and the players look like different people and it's actually quite scary to see how much of a negative impact Jose had on that club. United are playing free-flowing attacking football, something that you would expect of somebody who played under Sir Alex Ferguson for a number of years. Still a perfect start for Solskjaer, but the defence needs a bit of work as they have only managed 2 clean sheets this season, something that they really need to work on in the January. They're going to get a centre-back in the January. I'll put money on it, they will. And we move on to Watford versus Chelsea. Chelsea took the lead in the 45th minute as Eden Hazard got his 100th goal for the club. Watford shot themselves right in the foot as they gave the ball away on the halfway line and Chelsea broke forward with Mateo Kovacic. He played it forward to Hazard, who was one-on-one with Ben Foster. He easily took it around the keeper and slotted it into the empty net. But Watford would level the game up with the final kick of the first half through Roberto Pereira. A lovely strike as a corner was took shot and dinked to the edge of the area. There waiting for it was Pereira, who caught it on the volley, ton of spin on it, took it right into the side netting. But Chelsea would get the perfect chance to retake the lead as they were given a penalty in the 58th minute. A ball was played over the top to Eden Hazard. Ben Foster rushes off his line and absolutely clatters Hazard. Clear penalty. No complaints at all. Hazard also stepped up to take it and he sent Foster the wrong way and slotted into the bottom left for his 10th league goal of the season. And as the game ended, Watford could feel hard done by that they haven't come away with anything, as they had plenty of chances to take the lead in the match. They squandered a great chance as Kepa gave the ball away inside his own box, but the pass was off, and Doucouré and Deeney both had good chances as well. When Chelsea took the lead for the second time in the game, it never looked in any doubt, as on his way to the win, Eden Hazard became only the 10th player to reach 100 goals for Chelsea. And we move on to Southampton versus West Ham. Southampton took the lead in the 49th minute, and it is one of the scrappiest goals you will see all season. A ball was poked forward to the penalty spot to Nathan Redmond. The West Ham defence just stopped because they think he's offside. Mikel Antonio on the far side was playing him on. He turns and shoots, but Fabianski saves it. In comes Aurelio Romeu to try and dink it home, but that's saved as well. And a combination of Ogbonna and Nathan Redmond bundle the ball in the net. But the lead won't last long, as pretty much from kick-off, West Ham levelled it up through Felipe Anderson. Nothing scrappy about this one. A cross was put into the Southampton box. It was headed towards the corner of the box, and Felipe Anderson picked up the loose ball, took a touch, and fired one home into the bottom left. And West Ham completed the turnaround 5 minutes later as Felipe Anderson got his and West Ham's second of the night. Lovely counter-attack from the visitors. They deal with a cross at one end and break with 4 players against 2. Mikel Antonio plays a great ball round the bend into Anderson, who then charged into the box and fired over Alex McCarthy and into the back of the net. And that is how the game ended. After a pretty poor first half, the second half kicked up and we got a decent second half with chances for both teams. Southampton had a good chance to level it if it wasn't for a fantastic save by Lucas Fabianski, as he got down quickly and palmed an effort round the post. West Ham bounced back after a loss at the weekend to get their 5th win in 6 league games, and despite all the injuries they have had, to find themselves in the top half of the table at the halfway point is quite remarkable given the start they had. And we move on to Brighton versus Arsenal. Arsenal took the lead in the 7th minute as Pierre Aubameyang got his 13th goal of the league season. Really poor defending from Brighton. There were 5 defenders around the ball and none of them decided to just boot it. Alexandre Lacazette cuts back on about 3 of them before poking the ball to a free Aubameyang. He opens his body up and curls one back across goal and into the top right. But Brighton levelled the game up 10 minutes before half time as Jurgen Locadia made it 1-1. It came from an Arsenal corner that Granit Xhaka took, and David Progba picked it up on the left hand side and he just played a long ball forward. At first I thought Stefan Lichtsteiner missed it, but instead he flicked it on, and it's a fantastic header if he was on Brighton's team. If he was a Brighton player, it's the best assist all season. Jurgen Locadia gets onto it. Bernd Leno's damned if he comes for it and damned if he doesn't, and he chooses to try and smother the ball on the edge of the area, but Locadia dinks it over him and slots into the empty net. And as the game ended, as Brighton ended a 3-match losing streak by holding a poor Arsenal to a draw. Mesut Ozil started for the 2nd game in a row but was replaced at half time, and Arsenal failed to gather the creativity he provided whilst on the pitch. Arsenal dominated the first half an hour and forced some good saves out of Matty Ryan in the Brighton net, but Arsenal were constantly being caught out by a long ball over the top. Solly March and Jurgen Locadia missed chances to win the game, as a shoddy second 45 from Arsenal meant that they couldn't find the win and missed the chance to put a bit more pressure on Chelsea before their match. And we move on to Fulham versus Wolves. It was a pretty exciting first half, no goals but plenty of chances, especially for Fulham and especially for Aleksandar Mitrovic. He had 7 shots in the first half, and most any player has had in a half without scoring this season. But his team would eventually take the lead in the 74th minute as Ryan Sessegnon got his 2nd league goal of the season. Bit of a scrappy one as Alfie Mawson's deep cross was weakly punched away by Rui Patricio. It falls to the feet of Sessegnon, who hit his volley into the ground and over the line that was given by goal line technology. But Wolves would level the game up with 5 minutes to go as Romain Saiss made it all square. Another scrappy goal in this one. Ivan Cavallero puts the ball into the box. All the Fulham players miss it, including the keeper, and Joe Bryan is there, but he falls over, places his hand on the ball that would have probably been given had it not gone in, but in charge is Saiss, who slammed it home. And as the game ended with Fulham ruining a ton of missed chances as they picked up a point that was enough to lift them off the bottom of the table. The Horse were on top in the first half, with Mitrovic missing all those chances, but Wolves were more assured after the break, but they didn't threaten the Fulham goal as often they would have liked. It looked like Fulham would get away with it though as they took the lead, but they couldn't hold on for their 3rd win of the season as Saiss made sure that Wolves picked up a scrappy point. I said scrappy a lot in that game because that game was scrappy as hell. And finally, we've got Crystal Palace versus Cardiff. I don't really know what to add. Nothing happened. Crystal Palace were looking to build on a massive win at City and should have won this game as they had more than triple the shots that Cardiff had, but only managed 1 more shot on target. So after a heavy defeat, Cardiff dug down deep and turned out a stubborn defensive display as it ended goalless at Selhurst Park. Right, so that's all games I've got for you this time. Before we go, let's take a look at the Premier League table and top goal scorers, starting off with the Premier League table. Starting with top 5, and as you can see, Liverpool pulled further away from the competition as they beat Newcastle. Tottenham moved up to 2nd after a big win against Burnley. Man City are now third after their second loss in 4 days against Leicester. Chelsea are fourth after beating Watford, and Arsenal make up the top 5 after a draw at Brighton. Moving on to the bottom 5, and Huddersfield are now on the bottom after losing to Man United. Fulham are 19th after picking up a point against Wolves. Burnley make up the relegation zone after a loss to Tottenham. Cardiff are 17th after a goalless draw with Palace, and Southampton make up the bottom 5 following their loss to West Ham. Moving on to the top goal scorers, and as you can see, Pierre Aubameyang is on the top. His goal against Brighton took him to 13 goals and 3 assists. Mo Salah got a goal from a very soft penalty that took him to 12 goals and 6 assists. Harry Kane got a goal at Burnley that took him to 12 goals and 3 assists. Eden Hazard got a double against Watford to take him into double figures on 10 goals and 9 assists. And Raheem Sterling makes up the top 5 on 9 goals and 6 assists. Right, so that's all got for this time. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll be back on Monday for the next episode of the Premier League review. Same as last week, I'll do one on Monday because I don't really want to upload on New Year's Day because I just don't want to. You know what I mean? I just don't want to. So I'll do it on Monday. If you want to stay up to date about anything we do, best to follow us on Twitter. The link is in the description, or it's at portionofsport_. Sunday we've got a quite big video coming up because it's Liverpool versus Arsenal on Saturday night. So I'll look to get the reactions up on Sunday. If you don't know, I'm a Liverpool fan, Jack's an Arsenal fan. So we're thinking about doing double reaction. So we'll be together. And you know, we'll banter each other. I'll call him a nonce, and he'll call me old. If you missed last week's episode, that'll be on the right of the end screen, and also the channel will be on the left, so you can subscribe if you want. But anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new. I've been Mark from A Portion of Sport, and I will see you soon. My mama calls, see you on TV, sunset shit done changed ever since we was on our